And now, author and inspired preacher Paul Wagler brings encouragement and practical principles in his latest work, Five Healthy Habits of the Heart. Paul shares simple steps that can transform your life from inside out. So please welcome Paul. Paul, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, well, thank you, Bill, for having me. It's a joy to be here with you on the show.
Yeah, well, thank you for writing this amazing book. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we do, I'm actually curious about your own personal journey. Why is the heart such an important element in your life?
Well, for me, Bill, I decided to follow Jesus at a young age, at age 11.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, in my youth years, I was very active in my church, serving in various roles. And then into my early 20s. And then it was in our mid 20s where my wife, Angie, and I felt led by the Lord to plant a church. And so since that time, I've been serving as a bivocational minister,
Okay.
seeking to expand God's kingdom through the church and in the workplace. And so I've been very grateful for those opportunities. And in that time, the way I'm wired, Bill, is that I'm always looking for the things that I'm experiencing in everyday life and what I can learn from them and how I can use those then to share with other people to encourage them. And it was a number of years ago where the Lord really began to reveal to me the importance of the heart, the inner life, and to take care of that. And I began to start speaking about that and teaching about it. And I saw how practical it was as I talked with people about the habits that we form in our heart. And when I saw how practical it was, I realized I got to put this into writing. And so that's really what kind of helped prompt me to write the book.
Yeah, I love that because I think, well, for many, maybe watching, this term, the heart, can sound a little bit abstract. And we live in a culture that focuses a lot on actions and behaviors, what you do. But why is the heart such an integral part of actually what you do?
Well, so the heart, when we speak about it in my book, is not the organ that's pumping blood
Right.
through all of our bodies right now,
Right.
but it's about the seat of our emotions, the
Right.
core of who we are. It's about what Solomon talks about in Proverbs 4:23, the verse that you quoted at the beginning, where he says, he's speaking to his son, and earlier in that passage, he says he's encouraging his son to pay attention to his words, listen closely to them, hide them in your heart, keep them close to you. And then he says something interesting. He says, they will give you life and they will bring health to your whole body. And then he says in verse 23 of Proverbs 4, he says, above all of that, guard your heart, watch over it, for everything you do flows from it. Some translations say, for all the issues of life come from there. And so as I began to ponder that and realize that we can develop habits. What is a habit? A habit is a pattern of behavior, often unconscious, that is acquired through frequent repetition. So we
Right.
can
That's good.
develop those kinds of things, habits, within the core of who we are, that it's in a hidden place, but then it will affect everything that we do, everything that we speak, and the way that we think and treat other people. And so it's just proved to be really crucial. And it's really the revelation of this has transformed my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing what I've written in this book with other people.
Yeah, I love that because I think obviously the heart in by your definition and the biblical definition is really the core, our essence. It's the metaphysical part of us that is actually the real us.
Yes.
And we need to pay attention to that because if that part isn't healthy, then the rest of us is unhealthy as well. And so, okay, without giving away too much in your book because it's excellent and we want people to pick it up, what are the five healthy habits? Could you just summarize those for our viewers today?
Yes, Bill, I'd love to do that. So the first habit is humility, and I give a number of definitions about humility, but I'll just highlight the one here today, and that is it comes from one of my friends. He says this: humility is the ability to make changes when confronted with the truth.
Oh, that's good.
And I've realized, wow, I've really struggled with that one sometimes, where I don't like hearing the truth. And so when we walk in humility, we're going to be able to receive the correction we need to hear. The second habit is the habit of honesty. And you know, Bill, I've never heard anybody say, I love dealing with dishonest people. I love dealing with people who lie to me.
Right.
And so we would all say that across the board. Every person in society would agree with that statement.
Right.
But yet, we all are confronted with situations where, because of fear or because somehow we reason it out that this is going to be the best course of action, we choose a dishonest way. And so the book highlights the value of being honest and building that into the core of who we are, so that we can experience the benefit that David writes about in Psalm 25 when he says, "Let integrity and uprightness preserve me."
Mm,
The third habit is a habit of honor. And honor speaks of a valuing. It's
mm,
placing value on people and things
that's
and
good.
treating them that way. And I like to say that the opposite of honor is dishonor.
Right.
And dishonor is treating something as common or ordinary, or the ultimate form of dishonor would be shaming or humiliating. And so I often say to people that honor and dishonor are equal and opposite powerful forces. And so
Mm,
we choose by the attitudes, the habits in our heart, what kind of seeds we're going to sow,
mm,
honor or dishonor, and then we reap the fruit of the seeds we sow. And so we
that's
want to
good.
really
Hmm,
focus on honor. That's a really, really good habit to build. The third habit is something that I call holding and releasing. And
okay.
it's really all about how we process life. We can't let go of everything, although there's a lot of things we do need to let go of. There is some things we need to hold on to, some of life's experiences, and so I call that a healthy holding.
Okay.
And so in this habit we explore how do we process life, what do we hold on to, what do we let go. And I like to say that with this habit, my goal is to have my heart so free that I can be in any situation with any person talking about any subject and I'm not triggered.
Hmm,
That would be my goal.
that's good.
I'm still a work in progress on that one.
Me too.
And so the final habit is gratitude. I really wanted an H word for thankfulness and gratitude, but I couldn't come up with one, so we had to go with gratitude. And gratitude is just a powerful force
Hmm,
within
yeah.
us that changes our perspective and it shifts the atmosphere. And it is what Paul talks about in 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 18, where he says, "In everything give thanks."
Nice.
And so putting that into practice has really revolutionized my life. And I really want to encourage others in that as well.
Well, that's so good. Well, we want to continue this conversation in just a moment, and you're going to be joined by your wife, Angie. She's going to join us to share about Arise Now, a ministry helping people discover God's plan and live out their purpose. You won't want to miss it. Stay with us. We are back with Paul Wagler and joined by his beautiful, wonderful wife, Angie, both co founders of Arise Now. And so tell us a little bit about that ministry. What is Arise Now and what's the mission, vision, and heartbeat for it?
Well, Arise Now is, we're calling a generation. Maybe I should get you to say that. You always say it better than I do.
We're calling a generation that is longing for something more to arise now in Jesus, to
Hmm,
discover God's plan, and then be filled with passion so that everyone can live out their purpose.
I love that. So it's calling this generation. I think there's a real hunger right now across our nation in that generation
Mhm.
to rise up. I love that. Now, you use a lot of different media platforms. So, you want to talk a little bit about that? How do you pick that? How do you choose that? And what effect is it having?
Well, we started with our arisenow.ca website,
Okay.
and then we also do Facebook and we
Okay.
do YouTube. Now we've added Instagram into that. Thinking about TikTok, but we
Yeah.
haven't quite launched TikTok as well. But Facebook seems to be more localized,
Yeah.
and YouTube kind of goes all over. Instagram goes all over too. So yeah, we've gone actually to 70 nations with our Verse in a Prayer videos, which are just short little videos that we do daily
Okay.
to encourage people. I mean, that's the heart of what we want to do as Arise Now is it encourage and equip people. You just little seeds of the kingdom going out all over the world. And those seeds that go out, we know that if it falls on good soil,
Yes.
good hearts, it's going to produce a harvest
I
of
love
righteousness.
I love it. So it's a prayer and an encouragement. Is that kind of
Right.
what it
Well,
is?
the
And
the
daily?
daily video is a verse and a prayer, which is
Okay.
simply exactly what it says,
Yeah,
a
I
verse
like
and
that.
then a prayer, 30, 40 seconds long. And then we do a weekly Sunday morning program as well. That's Sunday morning with Paul and Angie, which has been a real blessing. We started that when COVID kind of shut everything down, and we
Right.
decided, hey, let's go live. We've always been wanting to do that, but just hadn't got around to it. And so that's what kind of launched us into that. But I just wanted to mention, Bill, that one of the things that inspired us to go to
R-
do media
Right.
is when I heard the story of David Maines,
Hmm.
how he was a young pastor and he was going door to door trying to recruit people to come to his church. And he was knocking on doors, and everybody, this was in the time when the television was new, and everybody was glued in the house to that box. And
Yes.
the Spirit spoke to him and said, "You got to get on that
Hmm.
box." And so that's what began his television ministry. And so when we look around today, what is everybody looking at? Well, it's their phone.
Right.
And so we got to get on that phone. And I was inspired one day when I was at an intersection and a coworker pulled up beside me. And this is someone we had invited to an Alpha course a number of years ago to come to our home, and he never came. And then now he's pulling up beside me, rolls down his window, and he yells over at me, "I see you all the time on Facebook." And I was like, yes, you wouldn't come to my home, but now I'm coming to yours through
Yes.
media. And so that's the power of the media that we have at our fingertips.
Well, I think we're in a revolution like with the printing press, where now the gospel is being spread even in closed countries. It's
Yes.
amazing. So keep doing it. It's amazing work. Now, you partner with an organization, E3 Canada, and you're part of their ministry family. So, what does that mean, and how has that impacted what you do?
Mhm.
Well, E3 is a wonderful organization, wonderful people, and we enjoy being part of that because we're part of something bigger than just Arise Now.
Right.
E3 is known for their tools, simple tools for evangelism and equipping the church,
Okay.
and so we get to join them in some of the training, evangelism training, and then we can take those tools and strategies and use them in our setting
Mm,
as well to help disciple
Mhm.
those that are being impacted by our ministry.
I
Yeah,
love that.
at E3, we like to say we're equipping God's people to evangelize the world and establish healthy, multiplying, transformative churches everywhere. Or as one of our guys likes to say, we're encouraging people that we want to have the whole church preaching the whole gospel to the
Mm.
whole world until no place is left. And
I love that because there's nothing more powerful than God's word.
mhm,
And again, when we spread that, share that through multiple mechanisms and platforms, God's truth is going out, and we know it always yields fruit.
yes.
Okay, so one last question, just really quick. Maybe you have a story of what's happened or the impact that your ministry is having.
Yeah, well, Bill, our ministry has led us to produce these videos, and they've gone all around the world.
Mm.
And so we have connections with people in India and Pakistan. We've been able to speak via video chat to churches in Pakistan and see
So,
God move in amazing ways. But locally, one of the stories that really encourages me is in my workplace, because I'm bivocational as a minister, but in my secular workplace, we were having a mental health awareness day, a little seminar for a group of employees, and the manager that was leading it was asking people how they manage their mental health. And she said, well, one of the things that she does is she watches Sunday Morning with Paul and Angie. She said, I'm not much of a churchgoer, but this has really helped me to keep my mental health in good order and in good balance. And I was like, wow, this is so encouraging that we have people, because that is what our heart is, not just to connect with church people, people who are already connected,
right.
but to people connect with people who are disconnected,
I love
who
that.
don't have a body that they're locally worshiping with.
Right.
And so we were so encouraged by that, and know that we are touching many through the ministry that God has made available to us.
Well, I want to affirm that today. Thank you. Keep planting that seed because we know God can multiply that into an amazing harvest. So
Mm.
thank you for all that you are doing. And if you're watching this right now and you'd like to learn more, you can go to 700club.ca for all the information regarding this today.